Happy Monday, Alicia here. We are on Empowerment Jewel number 26. So I'm taking a deep breath because we are going to talk about something that I believe is really not spoken about. I recently listened to one of my favorite podcasts, which is Therapy for Black Girls. So check it out if you haven't already done so. And the conversation was around mortality rates of Black women and men, and how we are dying at a faster rate younger. So between 30 and 50 in hospice care, because the person who was speaking, the guest, was actually a clinical social worker from Seattle. And she was saying that she's seeing more and more and more Black women, Black men who are dying at a younger age. And I thought that was so crazy to me, because with all the technology that we have, with all the care that we are doing, self-care for ourselves, how is this possible? Like, how is this possible that we are dying at younger and younger and younger ages? And then one thing that really struck me in this conversation is she was saying, we talk about self-care, but are we really doing it? And so she was saying how, you should go to therapy, because a lot of the things that have happened to you as an adolescent, not just as an adolescent, but when you were a child, even in infancy, really does impact how you deal with certain situations and how you deal with stress as an adult. And PTSD is real for us, and we know that. Also, get out, exercise, eat properly. Those were the things that she said. But then one thing that I recently had to really stop and think about for myself was how many times on social media you'll see about, Black women getting killed, Black women, being murdered, Black children who are taken and we're trying to find them, and come to find out, it's a family member that's done something, or it's a family friend that's done something, or this child is no longer with us, and how that impacts our life. And I believe she called it secondhand trauma. And I had to stop and think about that with all of the things that I've been hearing recently, and all of the things that I've been seeing on my Facebook feed. How many times that I've had to stop and take a deep breath, like I did at the beginning of this video, to really just process that, wow, like this has happened again. Like this has happened again. Someone who looks like me has been killed, has been shot by police, has been, taken, and how it affects me, and how I sometimes feel bad because I want to share these things, like especially if there's a child missing. But then I also am like, you need to take a break from this. You need to take a break, because she talked about how it really affects your body, like physically. Your muscles will tense. You could be in a space where you're having trouble breathing, you have headaches, and you don't even equate that to the stories that you're reading and how it impacts your life. Even if you don't know these people, even if you don't know these children, these women, these men, it impacts your life. And so I really recently have taken a stand to really cultivate the things that I see. And it's okay to say, I don't want to see this right now. Like, I just don't. And it's okay to do that. And I know that sometimes that's hard, because we want to share things, because we know that if we don't share it, it's not going to be shared by the masses. So we have to, in turn, share when there's a child that's missing. Share when we have the hashtag say her name or say his name, because we know that these things are not going to be shared, especially for Black women. We know that we are always in a space where, even if we are the victim, we always get the blame for things that happen to us. So what I want to say to you is, with self-care, it is okay to log out or not view the stories that make you angry, make you sad, make you frustrated. It's okay to not view those stories. And I've had to do that for myself, because all up and down my feed, I've been seeing so many just horrific stories of things that are happening to us. And I had to really think about, how is that impacting me? How is my body feeling? Am I suffering from that secondhand trauma? And the answer was yes. The answer was a resounding yes. So I've made a choice to be in the space for self-care, to really say, I can't view this right now. Maybe there'll be another time when I can, but it's okay for me to say, I can't watch this, or I don't want to see this, and click out of it. And sometimes I feel guilt for that. And I know that's something that some people may feel as well. Guilt for not watching, guilt for not looking, guilt for not sharing. But then I had to check myself and say, again, we are dying at a faster rate, younger and younger and younger. And the stress that we are under at work, at home, just in everyday life, it's going to affect us. So we need to cultivate the things that bring us joy, cultivate the spaces that make us feel that we are in a space of comfort, cultivate the people around us that make us feel good, because there are so many stressors in our lives as Black women that are just making it so much harder for us. So if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, don't really see these things on LinkedIn, but TikTok, any other platform, it's okay to exit out of those things that make you feel mad, angry, sad, frustrated, that make you feel like you have no hope. It's okay. It is self-care. It is definitely a space for you to say, I understand these things are happening, but at this time, the way I am set up, the way my spirit is set up, I cannot watch, or I cannot share another video, another picture of us being battered, being dragged, being disrespected, being yelled at, anything you can think of that is in a space where we are just degraded. It is okay to say, I can't be a part of this right now. I refuse. I refuse to do this. And I know sometimes that's something that, people will come down on you for, especially when it comes to like watching certain movies, or just, I forget what the movie is called off the top of my head, but about the Exonerated Five. And I remember there were so many conversations about, well, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. You don't. You literally do not have to watch anything that causes you to feel stress. You don't. And I want people to stop giving other people the blues for not doing something that they deem is the responsible thing to do as a Black person. You do not have to watch anything that gives you trauma or it stresses you out. You do not. That is your right. That is your privilege. You don't have to. As always, please make sure that you are practicing self-care. Exercise. Go for a walk. That's the simplest thing. Talk with friends. Have a therapist. Eat right. But more than anything, take care of yourself. We are dying faster, and it's not something that we should be doing.